The tension in the room was palpable. Despite the crew, rolling cameras, and bright lighting, what should have been a regular taping of the popular reality program turned into a raging maelstrom underneath the surface. In contrast, Yandy and Rasheeda felt as though they were the only parties to a protracted argument, and everything else seemed to be incidental. Although Yandy was always a resilient woman, the strain of it had never been this private or intimate, even though she had always been the center of their drama. And now that it was all on display, she felt as if everything was crumbling and her poise was being put to the test. Rasheeda and MDC had never been on good terms, even though they had been Young's companion and confidant for years. Without a doubt, Rasheeda and M were connected, and their shared history had always simmered beneath the surface. But things began to change when many say began dating Yandy. At first, Rasheeda made an effort to be encouraging, but she soon started to question M's commitment and the choices he was making. Yandy realized that the cameras were now recording every second after Rasheeda's remarks sliced through the air like a blade, intensifying the searing sensation in her chest. It wasn't merely the usual jesting more. Their friendship had been characterized by lighthearted banter, and it was sincere. Rasheeda was no longer holding back. Her disdain for many's choices had grown with time. Rather, Yandy seemed to be the object of every look and comment, as if her connection to many were a specific sin. "Yandy, will you really sit here and protect him?" Rasheeda asked incredulously. "You're still going to act like he's your KN in shining armor after everything he's done?" In spite of Yun's anger, even though she knew it was bad, she made an effort to conceal her feelings. Rasheeda felt attacked, as if she were questioning her judgment, her choices, and everything that had led her to this moment. "Why do you constantly have something to say on so many different topics?" Rasheeda has been attacking M and blaming her for their problems for a long time. Even though Young's voice was clear, the grief and annoyance she had been repressing made it tremble. "I am the one who has to cope with his past, baggage, and mistakes. Don't sit here and pretend you know what's best for me. It's been too long since this connection started." It gushed forth. Yandy shouted. Yandy wasn't finished yet. She had reached her breaking point, but Rasheeda rolled her eyes and chuckled. With her life on the line, this was no time to back down. "You've always held opinions, but you've been ruthlessly critical of me and him. Has never been where we are." In an environment full of verbal abuse and unresolved issues, Rasheeda's presence in M's life had fueled a deeper rivalry and underlying jealousy that had been simmering for years. But I wasn't the only one who participated. In an increasingly furious tone, Yandy responded, "You don't know what we've been through, what I've had to forgive, and yet here you are acting like you have all the answers." Destroying his friendship with Yandy each time. For a brief moment, the comments felt like a kick in Yandy's face. Rasheeda's eyes widened and she responded aggressively. "You think you're the only one who's had to deal with this mess? You think I don't know what it's like to be in a relationship with someone who's always making mistakes, and he's hurt both of us, and I'm tired of seeing you pretend like he's changed. You're letting him drag you down, Yandy." Because the world was watching and the cameras were on them, she refused to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing her break within, even though she wanted to strike out and rage at Rasheeda for all the suffering she had caused. Rather, everything appeared to be falling apart. Rasheeda's constant interference, M's mistake, and the unpredictability that had always surrounded them made it seem like the dam was about to burst, no matter how hard you tried to keep things together today. Their voices became increasingly irate as they began to argue. The crew watched the allegations play out in the background, unsure of how to intervene, aware that they were witnessing a partnership breakdown, a long battle for supremacy and respect, and that there was ultimately no obvious way to stop it. Yandy started to run, tired and restless, while Rashid's anger boiled beneath the surface as the cameras continued to capture the fallout. But for Yandy, the real fight had only just begun. In addition to M and Rasheeda's worries, she had to decide how to deal with the disaster in her life and whether she could ever trust anyone again, even herself. Rumor has it that Mies has given up trying to keep her family together and is tired of calling Yandy his wife.
That's nothing to do with me nor her. Them bitches was coming at you about your because they had too much ammo for you. Don't act like you didn't say that. I wasn't there. Now damn sure ain't gonna come to somebody about
Has gone back to his true love, Erica. It's becoming a pretty ugly problem, to be honest, and some people are even claiming to have been married. The only thing that has kept Yandy married is her pride, and ever since Minnie moved in with Erica, it seems like she has lost all self-control. In order to avoid it being obvious when they meet, Yandy has accused me of hurting Erica and is recommending that she break up with her boyfriend. Let me tell you about this tea if you haven't heard of it yet. Earlier this year, Yandy was released from prison for drug-related offenses. With Minnie's help, Yandy handled everything alone while he was in prison, doing everything she could to keep the family strong and united. We all thought Yandy would finally be able to enjoy her marriage after all the work and sacrifices she had made while he was incarcerated. In case you missed it, instead of rewarding Yandy for keeping the family together, Mrs. decided to go for her biggest enemy, Erica. If you follow the relationship, you'll see that Minnie and Yandy have been at odds for years since she hasn't set boundaries with her. The couple tried to work out their differences through therapy, but as they say, once a cheater, always a cheater. Yandy's marital status has long been questioned by certain members of her triangle. Her ego and vanity make her believe she is the only woman in Maine's life, despite the fact that she is aware he hasn't been entirely honest with her and is still seeing Erica. Although we are all aware that things aren't as they seem, she is adept at giving the impression that everything is all right. Em and Erica had been dating for some time before Yandy's arrival. Convey my deep concern for his first baby mom, Erica. When things weren't going well, Minnie needed someone she could trust to be understanding. Samantha claims that Erica was one of the only people he actually cared about. According to Erica, she and Anastasia had previously lived together, traveled together, shared passports, and even had the opportunity to meet his whole family. She helped take care of his first child while Samantha was away because she was so committed to him. A long-term, wise investment. Minnie's kept in touch with Erica even after he married Yandy. According to reports, he moved out of their house and broke up with Yandy to begin a new relationship with Erica now that he is out of jail and has a steady job. Because Yandy took care of all of Mindy's issues, disciplined him, and got caught up in baby mama drama. I don't think she deserves the abuse she's getting from Mindy's. He made it clear to her that his marriage was based on responsibilities rather than love. He went on to say that he never would have helped her or looked after the family the way she did if their roles had been reversed. She put a lot of effort into raising NC's kids while putting up with his mother's rudeness.
them bitches was coming at you about your because they had too much ammo for you. Don't act like you didn't say that. I wasn't there. Now damn sure ain't gonna come to somebody about they.
Mendy went to his mother, Judy, because he felt that something needed to be done. Without regret, Judy claimed that her actions were acceptable because she had been provoked. Mendy begged Judy to go because he was certain she had gone too far. He made it clear that respect was not negotiable, despite the fact that he knew he had to put his family's safety and security first before allowing her to remain in his care. "I love you, but I can't let this continue." Judy was angry that the transfer would serve as a wake-up call, despite her feelings of dishonesty. After Judy left, she had to alter her approach, which caused emotional distress for the family. While Yandy discussed the argument with her close friends and voiced her disgust at the ongoing animosity toward Judy for disclosing the problem, Mendy showed a great deal of shame despite sticking to this viewpoint. "I've always sought explanations, but this disrespect at home is starting to get to me." Despite his affection for his mother, he informed a close friend that he couldn't allow her to harm the person he had decided to live out the rest of his days with. His mind began to wander to other possible actions, but Judy felt cut off from her child and thought Yandy was just playing a game, so she resorted to her own support network to let out her frustration and rage. "I raised him, how can he choose me over him?" she exclaimed as she described the circumstances to Yandy and Judy. This dramatic event has further complicated the Harris family's ongoing saga by bringing to light how difficult it can be to strike a balance between love, loyalty, and respect in a mixed family. The disruption impacted not just their own relatives but also Love and Hip Hop's final cast. Other Atlanta cast members offered their opinions, with some endorsing Yandy and others recognizing Judy's viewpoint as a mother who feels excluded. Viewers wanted to see if Judy and Yandy would get back together or drift apart over the course of the season. While some hoped for brief periods of recuperation, others were disheartened by the ongoing problems that seemed to afflict the family. There is still a lot of drama in this house, and many people believe that Yandy and Judy's future won't be smooth due to the persistent issues. They traversed the challenging landscape of love, commitment, and family responsibilities for years. MC Harris and Yandy Smith are the epitome of a strong, ethical collaboration on Love and Hip Hop New York. As they navigated the murky waters of fame, family, and criticism, the couple remained committed to one another in spite of several challenges, including MC's legal troubles and a lengthy jail sentence. They received praise for their love, but as is often the case in the entertainment sector, their seemingly ideal relationship had issues that looked to have become worse when M came clean, despite the fact that looks may be deceitful. The first clue that something wasn't right was M's enigmatic social media remarks that suggested his marriage was in tatters. No one could have foreseen the tempest, but fans speculated about the meaning of his messages. Everyone was taken aback by a video that Menbise released a few days later. Menbise allegedly. Despite their close economic relationship, MC claims that Yandy and Carlos King, a producer well known for his work on popular reality TV shows, share a close friendship. MC provided printouts of the emails and texts he said Yandy and Carlos exchanged to bolster his assertions. "I can't stop thinking about you and our relationship," he said, emphasizing how intimate these exchanges appear despite their professional constraints. The fire is fueled by the fact that spending time together reduces one's ability to be creative. Some argue that the images might be of innocent guys, but more pictures that M said were taken during Yandy and Carlos's private encounter were also on display. C's mental image was clear. In response to these accusations, Yandy denied any wrongdoing and expressed regret for DC's choice to disclose their private issues in a live stream video. Despite her strong denials that she and Carlos King were romantic friends, she openly admitted that they were close. Carlos has served as a mentor as well as a friend. Even though she disputed this, Yandy said that changing our work connection into something it isn't is unjust and demeaning. As Yandy's tone suggested, "I have always stood behind MDs through thick and thin, so being charged in this way feels like a violation of the trust that has grown between us as the accusations gain traction." Carlos King broke his silence and denied having an improper relationship with Yandy in a well-written statement. "My relationship with Yandy has always been professional," he stated. Carlos claims that these charges are baseless and unwarranted. Carlos expressed his annoyance at being dragged into a marital dispute, saying, "I've worked with Yandy for years, and I've always respected her as a professional and a friend. I hope that Minnie and Yandy can resolve this privately." Their children are currently the subject of a media frenzy due to their appearance on Love and Hip Hop, in addition to the romance between MDC and Yandy. Friends and family have advised the couple to get help on multiple occasions. Supporters of the pair are divided. Some argue that Yandy should be given the benefit of the doubt because she previously supported Menbise during his legal battle, while others think MC's allegations based on the facts he provided. Although each case is unique, partnerships under investigation often have underlying issues. Fame and public attention can sometimes exacerbate pre-existing problems and lead to the emergence of new ones for MCs like Yandy. Without a doubt, reality TV has made their current predicament worse, and social media's influence cannot be ignored in light of their worries. Through public channels, millions of people have been asked to discuss a very personal matter, but this has. In the open, digital age, the situation has gotten worse and brought up privacy concerns. It's unclear how Em and Yandy's relationship will develop. They will have a hard time getting back together, even though they both think that family should come first. Once confidence has been damaged, it is difficult to rebuild, and the issue is made worse by the public's awareness of supporters' hardships. Many people are likely to see that Yandy has persisted, whether or not this suggests. The couple's first concern will likely be giving their children a secure atmosphere while they cope with the consequences of these disclosures, regardless of whether they decide to stay together or get a divorce amicably. It looked like a normal family dinner at first, but the awful night quickly heated up. The silence was broken by Mendy's son, who delivered the news with a mix of anger and frustration. A silence descended on the room as everyone tried to understand Yandy's claim that you are to blame for Yandy cheating on you. Mendy and Yandy were dragged into the public eye by the persistent charge, but they quickly refuted it. The youngster continued to blame me for not being a strong enough husband or father and accused her of abandoning the family. She strained to maintain her composure and exclaimed, "Where is this even coming from?" His son's ridiculous comments shocked me so much that I tried to defuse the situation, but it persisted. Her voice trembled with loss and rage. His tone was calm but strained, and he tried to control the son by raising his voice and demanding proof for the unfounded accusation, saying, "If you're going to accuse Yandy of something this serious, you better have proof." The conversation quickly heated up as he yelled, "You've always been so caught up in your own issues that you couldn't even see what's been happening right under your nose." Yandy lost emotional control and began crying when her anger and rage were met with emotional insults and unclear cues. The son became enraged when Mendy, the head of the household, responded to the heated argument by saying, "Love this family. You've been tearing it apart, and he's too blind to see it." Others glanced away as Yandy gasped, and the boy held his face, staring at his father in disbelief at the gravity of what had just happened. He slapped his son out of sheer rage, and the room went quiet. "I can't believe it's come to this," Mendy remarked in a voice full of regret, trying to control his feelings. Yandy, still crying, comforted him as she fought her own pain. "You need time to think about what you've done. Maybe some space will help you understand. I love you, but I can't let this kind of disrespect continue in my home." Son, far from being the young man who felt regret, refused to back down when his obviously upset son packed his things and pleaded to leave. Without further word, they turned to leave. In the days following the incident, there was a great deal of fear and quiet. Despite Yandy's support for M's decision, she was unable to conceal her pain, telling a friend, "I feel like I've lost a part of my family, and I don't know if we can ever heal from this." TC also battled his emotions, asking aloud, "Did I do the right thing?" and turning to his closest confidants for solace. "Having to protect my wife and my home makes me feel like a poor husband and father." The father's grief increased as knowledge of the family's issues circulated among hip-hop and love followers, and he came to the realization that it would be challenging to rebuild his relationship with his child. Social media users in Atlanta quickly expressed their thoughts, which vary from sympathy to support for MC's youngster. "Striking your son is unacceptable," some fans said, criticizing him for using physical force. However, another fan countered that he had to take the required actions to maintain his wife's respect. Mendy was committed to healing his family, despite the fact that the dispute made it harder for the Harrises to deal with their private pain in the spotlight. "We can't allow this to occur." In any event, obtain another comment. Some viewers question Yandy's involvement in the family dynamics as a result of the incident. Yandy, who has always kept the family together, might find this to be too much. Many adds Yandy's ongoing support and efforts at mediation have given the family optimism as the season progresses. Yandy informed a friend about it when his son wasn't around, and the friend went outside to openly discuss their shared connections. "We need to talk face to face and figure out how to move forward," he said. "You both love each other. You just need to find a way to communicate without all the anger," she urged. Upon questioning Yandy about her choice, Mace notes that the Harris family's internal strife remains unresolved. The dramatic encounter and its aftermath serve as a powerful reminder of the complexities of familial ties, and the story's unvarnished and honest assessment of the challenges and triumphs of negotiating love and commitment in a mixed family keeps audiences captivated. Yandy has promised to be true and committed, but she won't allow Mace to spoil her if her business succeeds or if he becomes an even bigger burden for them at the Grammy Awards and on their show Love and Hip Hop. After a while, Yandy realizes she doesn't need Mace for anything and starts acting like a runaway dog. The fact that she never sent in the necessary paperwork for their marriage is another indication of her persistent cunning. Some people say children you didn't push or spit out will always end up like this. Yandy nurtured this adorable child by herself when his father was in jail, and this is what she gets in return. "You're playing too much with this child who isn't biologically yours," says Mace. As the filming comes to an end, Yandy steps down from her role as the devoted wife. Some people use the remark, "I hope you found this video entertaining, and I hope to see you in the future one," to show how much they hate you.